Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Bosch SMV46KX01 integrated dishwasher. And what I want to do today is to take you around the dishwasher, show you some of the features and benefits that it offers, and really why, if you're in the market for an integrated dishwasher, that this should be one that you should be looking at. So I've got it plugged in, let's have a look. So as I mentioned, this is an integrated dishwasher. This is designed so that you put your own furniture door on it to match the rest of your kitchen. And this is a fully integrated one, so that when you shut the door you can't see any of the dishwasher. Just make sure you're buying the right product. There are also semi-integrated dishwashers available. That's where you have the control panel showing, but the majority of the market now has gone to this, which is a fully integrated. So I'll take you inside the dishwasher now. As we go to the top basket first, this kind of layout is fairly standard in Bosch products. Any of the light grey interior fixtures are fixed, and any of the dark grey ones like this you can fold down. So on this model you can fold this down. This can be quite useful, and I'll show you a bit more as we get to the bottom basket, but this can be quite useful. So if you've got things like large dishes, and if you just want a flatter area, then that's a very good option to be able to fold these down. You will find that you've got these along the right hand side here, so these can be quite useful for things like little cups. So if you've got things like espresso cups, then you can just pop them on the top here, or things like bread knives. That can be a good option to pop your long knives along the right hand side here. You have got an option on here called Rackmatic, and what this enables you to do is to raise or lower the top basket, and there are several different positions that you can do it in. You're not just limited to one position. And what I really like, and I must admit this is something we use at home quite a lot, the option to raise or lower the basket, because you'll often find that when you're actually loading the dishwasher, you load it in a certain way, perhaps not always correctly, especially when the kids are involved. But when you're loading it, you can find that if you've got, say, large items underneath, say a saucepan, then you might want to raise the say one side of it. So the advantage with the Bosch system is that you can raise one side if you want to, and not necessarily both sides. So as mentioned, that's it as standard. If you just wanted to reduce one side, just do it one side, that's fine, and it will just go in and it will still wash fine even though it is on a slant. Now this has a huge advantage, because if you've ever felt the weight of a fully loaded drawer when you've got it fully loaded, if you ever need to relocate the wheels, that's normally the way that they do it on some of the cheaper brands. You actually have to pull the whole drawer out and then relocate it. Then it can be quite awkward, and especially when it's fully loaded it can be very fiddly to do. So by having this system, the Rackmatic, it's something I try and point out to customers, and it's something that always goes down well. You will also notice that we have got this on the top here. So this is the cutlery drawer, and this is the main reason people will go for this one. What you'll find is that you can take that off as well. So if you wanted to take that off, and if the dishwasher isn't near to where you keep your cutlery, then you can take that off, and then it just relocates back on there, and then you just pop that back on. But this has a huge advantage, because what you'll find is it gives you the ability to separate all the knives and forks and spoons, and by doing that, then the washing performance of everything will be a lot better, especially if you've got very nice cutlery. So if you've got quite expensive cutlery, then keeping it separate has a huge advantage, because it means it doesn't tarnish. You can find with some expensive cutlery that they recommend to use products like this, because you find if it's in a standard cutlery basket, then when you've got everything together, then first of all the washing performance won't be quite as good, whereas if you've got everything jammed together. So now I'll show you the bottom drawer. What I do like about the Bosch products is everything is really easy to use. Bosch have given us a really nice easy grip handle. Quite a few of the manufacturers just wouldn't bother, they just rely on you using that as the handle. So as we go to the bottom drawer, as I mentioned in the top drawer, some of the darker fixtures in here you can actually fold down. So this is what I do really like about this dishwasher, is that you can fold all of these down, so it gives you a really nice flat area. So if you have got, say, saucepans or big dishes, then you can fold all of this down to give you a nice flat area. These ones are fixed, but as we go to the back of the dishwasher, just remove that for a moment. Then you've got the salt on the left hand side here, so that's fairly standard. Just make sure you use dishwasher salt, not table salt, as some of our customers have been doing, because it makes quite a difference. What you'll also find is that you've got the spray arm. That's easily removable, so if you need to clean that, which we do recommend every now and then that just pulls out. You've also got the filter in here, so just turn that and that is easily removed. There's a bit of residual water in here. All of these machines are tested in the factory before they come out, just to make sure they work okay. And sorry, that's the filter, so just make sure that that's clean. Just rinse it under warm water, just get any residue off there, and just make sure there's nothing on there. And to put that back in, that just drops back in. Twist it. I know you probably can't see it, but there's two little arrows here, just make sure they're located together. And as far as the maintenance on the dishwasher, there isn't a huge amount to do. Just make sure that, as I say, that the filter's kept clean. We do recommend cleaning both the spray arms on the odd occasion. And just on the inside of the door, this is where the tablet is located. So what you would do is you just pop the tablet or the gel pouch, whichever one you use. So just pop it in there and then you just press that. And what you'll find is that that's a really good system, because this will actually drop out partway through the wash. And if you do need to open it beforehand, then you just press that. This is where you keep the rinse aid, so just fill that up. We always recommend using separate rinse aid and salt compared to the, say, the 3-in-1 or the 4-in-1 tablets. The main advantage is the washing performance will always be a lot better if you try and use separate items. And again, try and use a good quality brand of things like the liquids and everything you're using. Try and use some of the better brands. Most people have tried some of the cheaper brands. I know it's an option to save money, but again, you will find that the washing performance and the cleaning performance, everything will be better if you try and use better brands. So I'll show you some of the programs in here now. First of all, you've got the on and off button on the left hand side here. This will display the time remaining of the program. What you will find is that this will actually adjust during the wash. So for this one, the 50-degree program, it might not necessarily take 3.5 hours. For some people looking at it at 3 or 3.5 hours, it sounds a little bit scary, but it's what you will find is, as I mentioned, it will actually send a certain amount of water through the wash, and it will determine how dirty it is, and it will adjust it accordingly. So you've got quite a good variation of programs on here. So the first one is this. This is the 70-degree program. This is the highest temperature that it will wash at, and as it shows, that takes normally between 2 and 2.5 hours. That's an ideal one for if you've done your Sunday roast and you've got your pots and pans in there that you want to wash in a higher temperature. The next one, this is a really good program. This is the Auto 45 to 65 degree. What this will do is, if you're not really sure what temperature to do it on, then I'd normally recommend selecting this one. The maximum normally this will take is 2 3/4 hours. And what this will do is this will send a certain amount of water through at the beginning of the program. It will determine how dirty everything is, and it normally takes between 5 and 10 minutes, and it will determine the best temperature to use for the wash. So you don't actually know what temperature it's using, but it uses the sensors in the dishwasher to determine the best temperature to get the best performance for the wash. So that's something that's really good, and I must admit at home we use that quite a lot. So the next one is the Eco 50-degree program, and that's a really good one if you're not really in a hurry for it. So if you're using it, say, overnight, then I'd normally recommend using something like that, because it's a more economical program. So as long, I know it does take a bit longer, so it could take up to 3.5 hours, but washing at 50 degrees, then that's normally the way to go if you are trying to save money on your bills. The next one is the 40 degree. This is really a delicate program. So if you're washing things like delicate glasses, or plates, then that could be a good one to use. And that's a much quicker program. That's only an hour and 40. This next one, if you're in a hurry, then this is a quick 65-degree 1 hour program, and that will do the full wash in that. You have got the option for the rinse. So if you put everything in, if you just want to give everything, say, a pre-rinse, then it's nice that we've got the option there. I did mention about washing overnight. So if you've, say, selected the Eco program, what you can do is you can actually enable a time delay. Just try and move my hand out of the way. So with that just gives you the flexibility to delay the start of the program. It goes up to 24 hours, and then clearly after that, then it will go back to the standard time. And that has a huge advantage. So if you want to use it overnight, if you've got things like Economy 7, where you get cheap electricity during the night, then you've got the option there. The next option, this speeds up the program. So as I mentioned, that would normally take 3.5 hours. So if you are in a hurry, and if you didn't want to use the 1 hour program, then you've got the option on here to speed it up. And what that does is that's a very good option if everything inside isn't too dirty. If you have got a very dirty wash, I'd normally end up selecting one of these programs on the full time. But if everything you're washing isn't too dirty, then that's a very good option to use. The next option on the right hand side, so you've got the extra hygienic, as they call it. And what this will do, on some of the higher temperature washes, so if you're doing things like that, the 45 to 65 degree program, and if you enable the extra hygiene program, then what it will do is it will actually keep the higher temperature, it will keep it at the higher temperature for slightly longer than normal. And that can be very good. So I mean, I've got a picture of a baby bottle on there. So if you're washing the baby's bottles, then that can be a really good option because it's helping to sanitize things inside. The next option on here is the extra dry option. So what you'll find is that this is a good option if you're washing say a lot of plastics in there, things like plastic cups, that they can sort of hold water on there, especially if they've got little ridges in the top. That sometimes it can be quite annoying that standard drying wouldn't quite cut the mustard. Then what you'll find is that by enabling the extra dry, that can just help to, as it says, to dry everything off inside. The next option on here, this is the machine care. This is something that quite a few manufacturers have started to put on now, and this just really helps to keep the machine clean and to keep it well maintained. Now, what manufacturers will recommend is it really depends on the type of program that you're using. So if you're using a lot of quick programs, so if you're using that program or some of the quick programs a lot, then the machine care program is needed quite often. I suppose ideally once a month or once every couple of months. If you are using some of the higher temperature washes, so if you were using some of these ones, say some of the higher temperature and longer washes, then the machine care option wouldn't need to be used as often. And then the final button on the right hand side here is the start button. So clearly once you've selected the option that you want, then you press start. So something you have got on this machine, which can be quite useful, is something called Infolite. What you'll find with any integrated dishwasher, clearly we can see everything in here, and that's fine before you set the program going. But once you actually shut the door, then you will find that you can't see the progress of it. So what you want to know is how well it's doing. And you have got something on the floor, so I'll just show you. So I've selected the program, press start, and on the floor on the right hand side you've got a little red light. So that's something that's really good. So what you do is you know that it is in operation, and then when it's finished the light will go out. So clearly energy efficiency is very important nowadays. You will find that on this particular model it uses around 9.5 litres of water per wash, which is really good if you're comparing it to other manufacturers' programs. Also, it has something on here called Silence Plus, and on this particular machine it's only 46 decibels, which if you're comparing it to other manufacturers, then it is actually really good. If you are thinking of buying one of these machines, then I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Bosch SMV46KX01 integrated dishwasher. Please give us a thumbs up and leave any comments on a YouTube video. I always ask if you could subscribe as well. If you haven't got any comments on the dishwasher, if you've got any questions, then just leave it in the comments below and I will get back to you. Also, if you have got a Bosch integrated dishwasher, then let me know what you think about it, because I always appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching.